Alright guys, so let's start off. We're going to create a new folder. Now this is OOP, so we'll talk about this, but we're just going to call this new folder part 0, just like we've done before. Right, so you got a part 0 folder. In here we're going to create a new document, empty document, and we're going to call it part0.cpp. Okay, and we'll go ahead and open that. Just give that a quick second. Alright, it's open. There we go. We can go ahead and close this. Now let's get this zoom in for you. Alright, so we've talked about a lot of stuff so far. So we're going to talk about what we've learned already. Let's summarize it, okay? Part 0, what are data types? Alright, so we're going to talk about data types. We have talked about int. We have talked about char. We have talked about, let's see, so we've talked about int, we've talked about char, we've talked about, we haven't really talked about, but we will talk about float, which is a single precision floating point number, which means that it can handle what we call decimal numbers. It would be like numbers that have a decimal point, a fraction, those sort of things. So we've got floats, and then bigger than that, we've got double. Those handle double precision floating point numbers, so even bigger than double, even bigger than a float, but does the same thing. So we've got all this stuff. Okay, but let's talk about what if we have something that doesn't exist in C++. Okay, so let's say we've got a rectangle. Okay, we'll call it rect. So we've got a rectangle. Okay, it's got 4 sides. 2 of the sides are the same. Right, so what if we want to know the width and the height of each rectangle? Okay, that's pretty simple, right? That makes sense. Right, we would want to keep track of that. But so let's say we want to do them in floats or doubles even. So we've got a double, and we're going to call it rect underscore a underscore width. Okay, we've got that double, and then well we need another double, right, for the height. Now we're going to call it rect underscore b rect a, we're sticking with a, height. Okay, so we've got this going on. Here's the thing, we have to keep track of both of those doubles. Now say that's not so bad, that's fine, right? But let's say we've got 1,000. Let's say we've got 1,000 rectangles that we have to keep track of. And you know, if you've watched the advanced OOP, you're like, oh well, we could use an array. True, we could use an array. We could say that every odd number index was a width, and every even number index was a height, right? So we could do that. We could finagle the array system to work, but there is a better way, right? So let's talk about structures. So I'm going to go ahead and clear this. We're going to include. We need a hashtag there. We're going to include IOStream, right, using namespace standard. Okay, so let's talk about this. Int main, and then we'll throw our return 0. All right, so we've got that. Now we're going to talk about structures. Okay. You can create a structure using the keyword struct. We'll call our structure data type a rectangle or a rect. Okay, and then after the rect goes a semicolon. But let's talk about structures, particularly our structure rect. We're going to create a double, and that double's name is going to be width. Okay, and then we're going to create another double, and we're going to call that double length. Because in real life, every rectangle has a width and I think we wanted to call this height actually. We'll call it height. Every rectangle has a width and a height. All right, we're going to save that. Okay, so now we've got this built-in data type that has 2 possible things. It's got a width and a height. And you can think of these as being attributes. Some people call them attributes, data members, those those things. So they're attributes of this rectangle. They're attributes. So attributes of this rectangle here. So they're pieces of the rectangle. They're pieces of information that we need. So then we need to come in here and we need to create a rectangle. Okay, so we're going to do that by saying the name of the data type, like we've done before, RECT, space. So it's a rectangle data type, just like we did up here with double. Just like we said, double width, we're saying rectangle. I think we called it A, right? So we'll call it A, rectangle A. Then we're going to say A dot width equals 10. And we'll say A dot HEIGHT equals 15. And let's see if we can't get this to compile. So we'll save it. We'll pull up our handy dandy terminal. Pull this over here. Handy dandy terminal. And we will zoom in. And CD desktop / part 0 ls, and then we're going to go G++ part 0.cpp. Boom, it compiled. All right, so this didn't give us anything particularly interesting. So what we're going to do is we're going to see out HEIGHT colon A dot HEIGHT, A dot height, and then we will output width followed by A dot width and end line. So we'll do this, just space this out real quick. So we'll go ahead and we'll save that for sure, make sure that it's saved, and then we'll go ahead and compile it. Sudo./a.out. Throw in our password. Height is 15, width is 10. So what you can see here is basically that we've taken this structure, we've created a new data type called rectangle that has a width and a height. Okay, and we've done that here, and then we've shown the user the height is this and the width is this, and so that's super useful for allowing us to manage data, to keep data grouped together.